The 8-year assault on your Second Amendment freedoms has come to a crashing end. I like taking the guns early. Take the guns first, go through due process second.
Well, I say go fuck yourself. Then ask a question, could I kill a man? I would enjoy myself. You can't disguise evil eyes that burn a hole in my head. This devil man and his master plan. We feel so misled, so I say, rise up, take it all back. Rise up, take it all back. Rise up. I hope you all understand. We got to take it all back again.
These people are not going to take it any longer. We will never give up. We will never concede. Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. But go home and go home in peace. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. You do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay.
What's up, everybody? How y'all? Oop, hold up. It's gonna be one of those days. It's gonna be one of those days. So, let me get the gum out of my mouth so I'm not yapping or slapping gums. What's up, everybody? I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. My weekend was, it wasn't great. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great. And I've been having some issues today. A little fun fact about myself, I'm not always this pleasant to be around. Sometimes I get frustrated with life and shit that I can't do for whatever reasons, and don't know exactly why that is, but it's probably something to do with childhood and nurturement or lack thereof, and maybe a few other things, I don't know, but so I've been battling that today. Have you ever thought, maybe this is not what I should be doing in life? Kind of have that going on in my life right now. Although I am looking forward to Texas, and that'll be fun. Trident Tony, what's up? Tactical Tony is in my chat, sending me links. I opened the first one. It's DOA, and that's one of your videos, March 1st. It's only like a minute, and no, it's not even a minute. It's 32 seconds. Hotboxing with God mode, and that's also your video. 3 minutes and 16 seconds. Damn, you've been. Well, that was on the 27th. I missed that one for sure. Let's see. I'm gonna click them all, Tone. 2 minutes and 9 seconds. Don't sleep. Horocid. Dude, did I miss the memo? Did I miss the memo on making your titles like what you make your titles? I have no. Sometimes I get them. Not all the times. Like Horo SYD. Horo story? I'm guessing propaganda. Is it propaganda? Probably propaganda. Let's see. It's FE2. FE2. Okay, click that one. Let's click on this one. I'm gonna click on them all. Fuck you. Violence. Okay. It's all now see that one I get. You just separated the letters. That wasn't too bad. I'm that smart to catch it. That was the double A's, all right, and that was it. Rock on Reb. Is Reb in here? Oh, no. That was the opening song. Sorry. You've been busy, Tony. Yep. What's up? How you doing? What's up, Bikes and Bullets? How are you? Good evening. Propaganda bro. How do you think I get around YouTube's BS? Dude, it's not just the titles. I would imagine it's not just the titles. I've been striked for Reb's music. All right, for having the blur. Well, maybe it's what gets it started, the process started, but then they go and find something else. Like, oh, you had some bloody images and some private parts that were totally blurred out in that intro. You got to get a strike. Oh, no, we'll just aid to restrict you. Oh, wait, no, psych, we're going to strike you now because you appeal it, you win the appeal, and then they strike the same fucking video. Fuck YouTube. But if that's how you get around it, maybe I'll have to pay more attention to my titles. I don't mind paying more attention to my titles. My titles are usually just the headlines of the day. Hey, I got the red glass back. It doesn't key out my whole face.
Yeah, I was listening.
Yeah. What do you got in the bag over there, Riddle?
Gummy?
Oh, okay. Riddle Girl's off work. Oh, by the way, check out what Riddle Girl bought me. It's a nut. It's a squeezy nut. I can squeeze it. I'm supposed to squeeze this when I get mad. Because I get really mad sometimes.
You're gonna be squeezing on your nuts.
I'm going to be squeezing on that nut. The titles is part of it. Yeah, I would imagine the title. I mean, I knew that for a while. I also know not to put in my tags certain things. Don't put in the keywords, you know. I have keywords that I try to avoid, right? We say sniffles instead of the other word. We say darfed instead of what actually happened to the election in 2020. You know, I walk around those things. And so far, fingers all crossed, we haven't had another incident yet because I am on strike number 2. Although strike 1 should be coming off mid-March. So maybe we can survive until then. We shall see. If not, we'll be on Poison Stinger 2, and I'll make a Poison Stinger 3, and then we'll still be on D-Live because I don't seem to care. I don't know. So that was my weekend. Oh, no, there was one other thing that happened this weekend. My Twitch on the gaming thing. Spider-Man for a Cause. He's a Navy veteran. Well, he's actually in the Navy currently.
Yeah, he's active.
Yeah, I know. I just said he was active. Anyway, he dresses up like Spider-Man, and he would do these events, charity events in his area, raising money and raising awareness for usually children with cancer, right? And so he did a promotional thing this, I think it was Saturday. Yeah, it was Saturday. Was it Saturday? It was Saturday. For 24 hours, he walked on a treadmill. And since I knew him before, when he first got started on Twitch, he wanted me to help him out, and I did as much as I could. But that guy's amazing. He's got like one of those attitudes that's so positive you almost want to smack him. You know what I'm talking about? Dude walked for 24 hours. He doesn't even know how many miles he walked because the treadmill was so damn old, or it kept shutting down on him because it's so damn old. And he had a Fitbit on, but he had it on his wrist and it wasn't always swinging. I think he said that without his arms swinging all the time, it calculated like 25 miles, which has got to be more than that. 24-hour walk? Ooh, that's crazy. All right, so I don't think I have my web pages set up, so no, I don't, which is pretty easy to fix, though. So there you go, boom. Look at this. Remember Mike Lindell? That might be a keyword nowadays. I don't even know. Mike Lindell wanted, hey, Dominion, come on, bring it, brah. Bring it. I want you to sue me. I'm looking forward to you suing me because then I can present all the evidence of DARFing in the court and not only prove my case, countersuit your lawsuit, but also 5D chess. This is how Trump gets back in the White House. So guess what? You got your wish. It's a Christmas miracle. Dominion Voting Systems defamation lawsuit exposes the My Pillow guys Patriot Act. I have no idea. I did not have this story on my main pages that I usually bring up. These H's and the other one. They didn't have it. They did have one that's saying, "Oh, he's getting sued now and he needs help. He's getting sued for $1.3 billion. We got to help him out. We got to buy his pillows." Dude, you brought this on yourself, for one. Second of all, I am thinking about getting a My Pillow, but just like everybody else, how many pillows do you actually need to buy? If it's a quality product, that's going to really suck for this guy. He got himself in a corner. And I don't know, it wasn't... You sell a product. You need those products to be sold at stores. You can't just sell it on your website. Somebody needed to take you aside and tell you that in this culture, especially since Trump didn't win, but even if Trump did win, those retailers aren't going to want to promote your crap. They're not going to want to put your product in the store. Mike Lindell, aka the My Pillow guy, used Dominion Voting Systems Technologies as a scapegoat for Donald Trump's loss in the 2020 election until Dominion finally filed a $1.3 billion defamation suit against him. The suit, filed by top shelf defamation attorneys Tom Clare, wow, top shelf, nice, and Megan Meyer, sets out to do two main things. It details all the times Lindell falsely asserted that Dominion machines were programmed to DARF votes from Trump and DARF them to Biden, to DARF the election. I ain't saying it. And it makes the case that Lindell's noisy embrace of Trump, which was motivated by a desire to sell pillows to right-wingers, not so much a political true believer. So they're thinking that he just wanted to sell more pillows. Well, I don't think that was the way that was going, even when Trump was in office. Like what about Goya beans? They're still sold in the stores, I guess, but they didn't go after Dominion, right? I saw them in the store anyway. The lawsuit begins by showing that Lindell hasn't always been honest in marketing claims about his pillows. Lindell was sued in 2016 for making false claims in My Pillow's infomercials. A talented salesman, Lindell personally starred in My Pillow infomercials, which claimed that My Pillow would help people suffering from fibromyalgia, insomnia, migraines, and headaches. Yeah, I remember hearing that. And I remember this is one of the reasons why I said I was never going to buy one at the time. This was before Trump. was because that people said it actually gave them headaches, not took them away. It also would cure you from sleep apnea, snoring, TMJ, and restless leg syndrome. This guy was a bona fide snake oil salesman. Claims that prosecutors alleged were untrue or misleading. Rather than defending the truthfulness of MyPillow's claims in court, Lindell opted to pay $995,000 in civil penalties. Wow, that's almost $1 million. Also, in 2016, MyPillow was hit with a class action lawsuit alleging that the company's infomercials hold out Lindell as a sleep expert, when in fact he wasn't. Again, Lindell paid to make the case go away. The company was hit with another lawsuit in 2019 for disseminating false and misleading advertisements. MyPillow settled for another $100,000. They're setting up the story here. Will he settle with Dominion? In 2019, the Better Business Bureau, after seeing a pattern of consumer complaints, pulled its accreditation of MyPillow and lowered the company rating to F. I do not give a crap about the Better Business Bureau. That is a bought and paid for organization for a long time now. Throughout the time, here's a question. Does anybody in the chat have a MyPillow? And can you say if it was decent or not? Throughout the time when those legal issues were playing out, Lindell and MyPillow were spending millions to advertise on right-wing media, mainly Fox News, the lawsuit explained. In large, MyPillow's success is due to a gamble Lindell made on Fox News years ago. Lindell went in all in and spent his last $2 million buying airtime for MyPillow ads on Fox News. The bet paid off, yielding $8.19 million in returns. In the first 3 quarters of 2020, MyPillow spent more than $62 million on television ads, nearly the 99% of it going to cable channels like Fox News. Yeah, should have diversified. Here's the thing, and I've preached it for a while. If you're going to sell a product, just sell a product. If it's a good product, I mean, hopefully you believe in it and think it's a good product. If it's a good product, people will buy it. Leave the politics out. Do not get woke. Do not make commercials addressing woke shit. Don't say Trump is good. Don't say Biden's good. Don't say nobody's good. Just say my product is good and this is why. And never take the bait on doing something that's woke, either which way. It's just going to divide people and like, yep, not going to buy that product. Well, luckily for the left, they've got so many of those companies that have done the woke shit that it's almost impossible to not spend your money on something that's been woke at some point or another. In the first half of 2020, actually, let's get through that. Lindell's vocal support of Trump over the years has been very good for business. In July 17, Lindell sat right next to Trump at the White House event and got about the most valuable endorsement an American can possibly get. President Trump, with a MyPillow in an arm length away, endorsed MyPillow on national television, saying, I actually bought a couple pillows and they're pretty good. They're great. I sleep much better ever since. Lindell has repeatedly touted that endorsement. I bet he does. Lindell, an evangelical Christian and recovering drug addict, I didn't know about that, found that right-wing media appearances promoting that cause produced even more opportunities to promote MyPillow. There was a common theme in Lindell's appearances. His theories about how the 2020 election was dark were almost always accompanied in some way by marketing messages for MyPillow. All right, what about, yeah, that's all that. Okay, so it's going to start. Y'all looking forward to it? Oh, I hope that's on Court TV. Is that a thing anymore? No, they changed the name of that, I think. Biden Darf equals barf. There you go, little girl. Y'all being quiet tonight. Don't have that many in, though. That's fine. Bill Cassidy claims the GOP will lose every election if it sticks with Trump. Let's see how long this is. 8 minutes? No, we're not going to. Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, Republican, claimed this week that the Republican Party will only lose election if it remains loyal to former President Trump. Cassidy, who was one of the 7 GOP senators to vote to convict Trump during the Senate's second impeachment trial, was unanimously censored by Louisiana GOP for it. Argued the GOP lost both chambers in Congress and the White House because of Trump. I guess if that's how you think that went, bro. Over the last 4 years, we lost the House of Representatives, the Senate, and the presidency, he told CNN. And that has not happened in a single 4 years under a president since Herbert Hoover. The next 4 years will carry additional losses if Republicans continue to idolize Trump, he continued. If you're going to win 2022 and 2024, you got to speak to voters who didn't vote for us last time. I think everybody voted at least once, maybe twice. Now our policies are great. Before the sniffles crisis hit, we had record employment for every group: Hispanics, African Americans, women, the disabled, high school dropouts, veterans, you name it. We had economic policies that were working. So if that's the case, we can speak to those policies to those families. We will win, but if we idolize one person, we will lose, and that's kind of clear from the last election. I don't think so. This person obviously thinks everything was on board. Everything was up and up. There was nothing to see here. Cassidy failed to mention the dozens of House races the Republican candidates won in 2020 election, gaining seats rather than predicted losses, and several of the key battleground Senate seats Republicans managed to hold on to. He was censored by his own state party last month for enabling Democrats' attack on the very foundation of American democracy by voting to convict Trump. However, Cassidy defended his vote despite the scorching backlash he had received. I am such at peace with that vote. I say that knowing that I'm getting criticized, but I took an oath to support and defend the Constitution, he said. Oh my goodness, he's supporting it and defending the Constitution. Well, that's great, bro. Seriously? That guy, he's definitely on one of the teams. And I don't think Trump was. We're going to get through this quick. Texas Power Company seeks bankruptcy protection after the storm. The largest and oldest power cooperative in Texas is filing Chapter 11, bankruptcy protection, citing last month's winter storm that left millions without power. Brazos Electric Power Cooperative. By the way, the company tried to charge them for electric when they didn't have electric. I've had at least one friend in Texas tell me that. Like, they actually tried to charge me for that. It's like, don't you pay it. Oh, I ain't gonna pay it. All right. Which serves 16 distribution members, cooperatives that cater to more than 1.5 million Texans across 68 counties from the Texas Panhandle to Houston, said Monday that it was a financially robust, stable company prior to the severe cold weather that hit Texas between February 13th and February 19th. Much of Texas power grid collapsed, followed by its water systems. Tens of millions huddled in frigid homes. Others fled for safety, like Cruz. He just cruised on by. He's like, nope, ain't gonna do that. The state, long suspicious of regulation and outside help, was left to seek aid from other states of humanitarian groups as many of its 29 million people grasp for survival. Others fled for the state, long suspicious of regulation. All right. Oh, okay. That's why they wanted to have the electric only in their state. Gotcha. Brazos said that they would receive excessively high invoices from the Electric Reliability Council of Texas for collateral and purported cost of electric services. The invoices were required to be paid within days. As a cooperative, Brazos' costs are passed through to its members and retail customers served by its members. Brazos decided that it won't pass on the ERCOT cost to its members or the consumers. Let me emphasize that this action by Brazos Electric was necessary to protect its member cooperatives and their more than 1.5 million retail members from unaffordable electric bills as we continue to provide electric service throughout the court-supervised process. Clifton Carnell, Executive Vice President and General Manager of Brazos, said in a prepared statement. They said that they will continue to supply power to millions as it restructures the cooperative while under bankruptcy protection. The bankruptcy filing comes the same day that the Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton said that he is suing electric provider Griddy for passing along massive bills to its consumers during the winter storm. The lawsuit accuses Griddy of violating the Texas Deceptive Trade Practices Act and seeks refunds for customers. You know, I'm glad that they have their own power, but if you have your own home in Texas, get solar. Get off the grid. They're trying to get so that they're all self-sufficient to their own state, because if they need us to see, they can, be self-sufficient. I get it. I understand it 100%. But you should be taking the same precautions yourself and becoming more and more independent and not dependent on other shit. Even right now, you're living in a house, you're living in an apartment even, you can make steps to have more independence, more of these kind of things. Get a generator. If you live in an apartment, get a generator. People who had a generator were at least a little bit better off in Texas than the ones that didn't, right? Expect all these things. It's called, being a prepper or prepping. ERCOT shifted about 10,000 Griddy customers to other utilities on Friday. Griddy said that ERCOT took our members and have effectively shut down Griddy. We have always been transparent and customer-centric at every step. We want to continue the fight for our members to get relief, and it hasn't changed, Griddy said. Yeah. Okay. Cutting Pelosi's pork stint from the stimulus would permit $10,000 checks for Americans. Ooh, I'd be all right with that. Prior to Democrats' passage of the $1.9 trillion boondoggle masquerading as economic stimulus, Representative Paul Gosar from Arizona called attention to the massive pork spending from Democrats that was redirected money away from the bill's intended purpose. Gosar said that cutting just 10 items out of the Democrats' 200-plus budgetary riders would leave enough to increase the promised payments for many Americans to $10,000 each. He offered up an amendment to raise the direct stimulus amount by an extra $8,600 per person, less the already proposed $1,400 payments that were included in the so-called American Rescue Plan. People need help with car payments, mortgage, and rent, and everyday necessities, Gosar said in his amendment. The government broke it. Now government must fix it, he continued. The people, not the corporations or the billionaires, need this money to survive. The people. God bless you, Gosar. But House Democrats scoffed at this amendment and nearly all of the other GOP proposals for the bill. They passed it with nearly party line 219 to 212 vote on Saturday, although the two Democrat defectors opposed the bill due to its inadequate emphasis on the sniffle relief. During challenging times, the country needs its elected leaders to work together to meet the most urgent needs of their communities, said Representative Jared Golden of Maine, one of the defectors in the statement on Saturday. This bill addresses urgent needs and then buries them under a mountain of unnecessary or untimely spending. After the President Trump called for $2,000 direct payments was rejected by the GOP-led Senate, his successor in waiting, Joe Biden, promised in early January that the $2,000 checks would be out the door if Democrats reigned control of the chamber pending the two Georgia runoffs. Instead, regaining the majority, Democrats have prioritized several other agenda items, including the impeachment of Donald Trump for the second time and the H.R. 1, a deeply corrupt election overhaul that would potentially secure permanent majorities for their own party. Upon finally getting around to the sniffle relief, House Speaker Pelosi, who repeatedly refused to come to the table during negotiations with Trump, included a wish list item such as an underground transit system for Silicon Valley and foreign aid to China. Democrats now hope to ram the bill through an evenly divided Senate using a budget reconciliation process that would eliminate the need for a 60-vote threshold and allow them to pass it on party line basis, barring any defections. To do so, they were forced to abandon a push to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Well, that's sad. I guess we're not going to make $15 an hour anymore. Elizabeth McDough advised would not meet the criteria for yada. However, a handful of Senate Democrats, including Senator Joe Manchin, have warned that the small businesses wrecking minimum wage hike which would be disproportionate in effect impoverished areas where the cost of living is lower, may be a non-starter. Yeah. First of all, you start paying them $15 an hour, everything's going to go up. Second of all, yeah, there are plenty of places in Kansas. When I went to see Kansas, Hillbilly Prepper there, oh my goodness, rent was like $250 at the time. And that was probably like 4 or 5 years ago now. But still, that was crazy how cheap that was. And I'm thinking, man, if we were making as much money as we are now, but living there, we'd be fine. Be 100% fine. Democrats likely can't afford to lose even a single senator given the narrow margin for the highly partisan legislation, which will require Vice President Kamala Harris to cast the tie-breaking vote if there's no deflections. Bullion banks sell even more silver. Do they have it? Anyone with a naked short in the silver futures market risking getting squeezed by physical buying, demand for delivery of COMEX silver bars is rising even as the price of paper, the paper price of the metal, fell more than 4.5%. Yeah, we'll go to a local coin dealer and see what the actual price of the metal is. Silver shorts sold contracts representing a whole lot more silver than they have available to deliver again last week. Let me repeat that. Silver shorts sold contracts representing a whole lot more silver than they are available to deliver again last week. This since the price is going down on silver in the paper market, I still want to get the physical stuff, but I almost want to buy some paper. You know, if the price keeps going down, because when this thing hits, it's going to blow the lid off the paper stuff too. I'm not saying a whole bunch. I'm just saying a little bit. The disconnect between paper price and physical demand is getting more ridiculous by the day. It is also getting more dangerous for COMEX market participants, long and short. The COMEX functions are confidence, which can vanish suddenly. It will happen when long contract holders discover en masse the paper they bought cannot be redeemed for the actual metal as expected. Instead, they get cash settled, or in the event of an outright default, they get nothing at all from the insolvent counterparties. So if you have, maybe I shouldn't buy that metal. Maybe that's a bad idea. If you have paper, silver, and you're like, yep, I think I want the actual stuff because I looked at the store and it's going for a lot more than what it's going for online. So I think I'd rather have that stuff. So I'd like all my silver, please. I don't want money, right? I have bought this many ounces, and you're saying that the silver is $26 an ounce. Well, it's $30 an ounce over at my local silver store. So I want all those ounces, so I can then go over to my silver store and sell them and get the cash that way. No, what they're going to do is they're going to sell it to them at the silver spot price. So instead of sending them silver like they're supposed to do, they're going to send them cash for what the spot value is, not what the actual value is. I see the Darfin going on here. Oh my goodness. Garrett Goggin has been keeping an eye on COMEX silver deliveries. He notes a huge difference between this year and last. Delivery demand is roughly 20 times what it was for this period last year. In this period last year, it was still like $13 an ounce silver, and you could actually get it at that price. Now, but it was like the last, well, yeah, this February was the last month, because I got into it in February, and by mid-March, it skyrocketed. It is approximately 4 times the previous record for the period set in 2010. The 41 million ounces delivered over the past 3 weeks is very significant relative to the total registered stockpile of silver in the COMEX vaults. Bars in the registered category are the ones actually available for delivery to a new owner. COMEX vaults also contain a larger stockpile of eligible silver. Bars in this category can be converted to registered when owners decide they are willing to let them go. Until then, they are not available to be claimed by contract holders. It looks like 80 to 100 million ounces of physical silver will be delivered in March, likely a new all-time record. The latest report from the CME Group shows just 135 million ounces of registered silver still available, down 16 million from the 151 million ounces reported 2 weeks ago. Watching the registered inventory is a good way to judge whether the effort to squeeze the silver prices is working. How much of the silver currently being delivered will remain as registered in the vaults? How much will be converted to eligible and made unavailable? How much would be moved to segregated storage or removed from COMEX vaults altogether? It could get worse for the banks. Shorts may be nervous. Demand for physical metal keeps accelerating, and COMEX bar inventory continues to fall. Bullion dealer inventories are low, and demand for the retail bullion products has never been higher. Even thousand ounce bar premiums are elevated. Holy shit! You can buy 1,000 ounce bar. I've seen 100 ounce bar, and that thing is massive, which is an extremely rare occurrence. Rising lease rates in London imply an inventory shortage across the pond. And they tax their silver hella expensive too. It's an extraordinary, dangerous time for bullion banks to continue selling silver they don't have. Their play is to destroy sentiment and shake investors out of the market. Thus far, at least on the physical front, this effort appears to be backfiring. Interesting. What's up, Broken Patriot? Did you just get here? I think you were here earlier. Did you bounce for a little bit? I was talking about how even living in an apartment, you can be prepping. You can be trying to get more self-sufficient. Maybe looking into getting a generator. Maybe looking into getting a storage unit for some of these preps, right? So, like, if something happened to Arizona like it did in Texas, what are you going to do without power? And this is a great question to think about. If what happened in Texas happened here in Arizona, what would happen to you right now, Broken Patriot? Would you have electricity? It's in the teens, single digits. It's freezing. It's absolutely freezing. How are you staying warm? How are you getting water? How are you doing all these things? And you just got here. This is something though that I was talking about, and I think you should definitely think about. And I think everybody should think about it. I'm just using you as an example because I know you live in an apartment, and I've lived in an apartment, so this, I've prepped for some of these things. I do not have a generator right now. That is the thing I need to do, because I also was not expecting something like what happened in Texas to happen there. So if that were to happen here in Arizona, I'd be screwed. So that is one thing that I'm going to be preparing for. I'll be getting a generator. I already have a lot of water on hand, but it's one of those things that you got to think about. What's up, Daniel Oldfield? How you doing? Hey, Riddle Stinger. Hope you all doing well. We are doing great. We're just talking about some silver and some other shenanigans. Hello and thumbs up, says Richard Monder. Well, thank you. Did something just let out? Everybody just now showing up? I guess another chat just ended. All right. CNN anchor Stellar lashes out after Don Jr.'s CPAC potato head comparison. Oh, is there some troubling times? And it's so weird to hear his actual voice because I only remember what he sounds like through Mark Dice. I'm just going to read it. CNN media correspondent Brian Stelter denied the rumors spread by Don Trump Jr. over the weekend at the Conservative Political Action Conference that he was the alter ego of the newly androgynous Potato Head. Not Mr. Potato Head, it's gender neutral now. There you go, Mr. Potato Head. It did kind of look like him. No, they don't have an actual picture. If Hasbro really wanted a gender-neutral Mr. Potato Head so badly, they should just slap a picture of CNN's Brian Stelter on the cover of their next photo. Or next potato, Trump Jr. said during an epic roast on Saturday that also took down Representative Liz Cheney, President Joe Biden, and Andrew Cuomo. Several left-wing media outlets insisted that Stelter was unfazed by the burn. But clearly, given the amount of airtime he spent carpeting on it during his Sunday show, reliable sources, Don Jr.'s comment hit a little close to home for the portly partisan pundit. I like how the portly partisan pundit. Oh, I need a name. I should have named the chat that. I thought of some really cutting responses, some really clever ways to respond, some really clever ways to go viral, Stelter said. But then I stopped. I didn't post anything. It's because you didn't think of anything. He accused Don Jr. of trying to bait him on a Twitter battle. It was just another distraction, Stelter said. He wanted me to respond. This was just more BS fuel for the culture war, and it doesn't matter. Must have mattered. You're bitching about it. Stelter said that many of the topics that go viral on the internet amount to little more than drivel that divert public attention away from the more important stories. The best thing we can do for each other in this world of tweet storms is to refuse to be confused by that noise, he claimed. There's too much real news going on. Well, not on CNN and not on Fox News. If you really want... He's not completely wrong. The best thing we can do for each other in this world, is turn off that shit and go out and meet the real people. Talk to real people. And see if you can't get them to think, sow those seeds. Sow those seeds of truth. Hasbro's decision to drop the Mister from the classic children's toy, the latest amongst many corporate capitulations to the radical woke agenda, was the popular target of the CPAC. Okay. Representative Matt Gaetz also criticized it. See, to me, the whole concept of the Mr. Potato Head was that you could move the parts around, Gaetz said. Mr. Potato Head was an American first transgender doll, and he even got canceled. You could make Mr. Potato Head a Mrs. All you had to do is put on the girl stuff that fit. Their growing wave of aggressive cancel culture by the left has alarmed ordinary Americans who rejected a domineering revisionism of political correctness. However, Stelter sought to trivialize the conservative focus on Potato Head and other recent examples, including Disney's decision to slap warning labels on old episodes of The Muppet Show. Wow, there's a lot of pork in this story. Soros-funded LA district attorney hires prosecutor who called cops barbarians. Yeah, sorry, a bit late. No, you're all right. For real news, watch the evening chat. Oh, okay. Thank you. I watch your shit too. I was liking that. I try to watch as much as I can, but man, I got way too much shit on my plate. You know what I mean? And this nut ain't gonna squeeze itself. Little girl got me a nut. It's to help with my anger issues. The Soros-backed LA district attorney is facing possible recall after he appointed a radical leftist who called city police officers barbarians and advocated for abolishing prisons as one of the city's top prosecutors. Last week, it was revealed that Gascon hired Tiffany Blacknell, a controversial public defender who has a history of anti-police rhetoric, as a grade 4 city prosecutor. In one picture, Blacknell wore a t-shirt that read, "The police are trained to kill us." Oh yeah, right there. She also tweeted, "Prison is obsolete. We need to reimagine America without it. And look at these barbarians. LAPD is occupying army. Hashtag defund the police." So I don't disagree with all of this. I only disagree with a little bit. Even Gascon's own staffers opposed Blacknell's hiring. Cindy Wallace, who has been a prosecutor in the DA's office for almost 13 years, suggested to KTTV that the only reason Blacknell was hired was because she helped Gascon, whose campaign received more than $2 million for leftist billionaire George Soros, win re-election. It's really unfortunate, I think unfair. It seems like she was given some sort of preferential treatment for helping George Gascon's election. Being the transition team, it's nepotistic a bit, she explained. In response to Blacknell's hiring, community residents staged a protest out of his office and began circulating a petition to launch a recall. He promised a softer and gentler criminal justice system that would reduce incarceration rates for minor offenders and place increased focus on mental health and addiction issues that plagues our community. The recall petition states, but the moment he was sworn in as district attorney, George Gascon instituted a series of directives to the prosecutors in his command that have nothing to do with a progressive approach to prosecution and everything to do with a radical agenda that ignores victims, disregards the law, and endangers the lives and the livelihood of all Angelenos. There you go. What's up, Mr. TV9? You got out of the chat too? This is a popular chat you guys were all in. Is Mule Team doing chats now? It seems like y'all got here. You missed the silver story? Yeah, man. You're going to be pretty rich if you still got all your silver and gold. Mr. T in the house. Yeah, look at that. Bullion Bakes sell even more silver. Do they have it? No, they don't. They don't have it. And did you know that there's such a thing as a 1,000-ounce silver bar? I knew the 100 ounces. But my goodness, 1,000 ounces? And then we got some stuff from Tactical Tony or Trident Tony. We're going to watch this. Because I have a little extra time. And we blew right through those stories because y'all are watching somebody else.
Got fucking off, bro.
Oh, I like the editing, bro. I hope that's actually an after effect that you did in editing and not your shitty camera. Like, if that's your shitty camera, you should get a better camera. But if that's an effect, that's pretty fucking awesome. I never sold any silver yet. Well, right now, it's going for a lot more than what the paper value is. I like that, Tony. That's nice. I'm going to give that a thumbs up. I'm going to say, is that an effect in editing, or is it... There we go. Can't even spell editing correctly. All right, boom. There's that. Hot boxing. We'll get to that one. That one's 209. Yeah, we'll do this one next. I think I might have seen this one. Yeah, this is him out shooting in the snow. I did see this one. Yep. And see, it's already got a thumbs up, too. I saw that one. I like the music in that one. All right. Yeah, it's got to be his editing software, right? No quarter 702. Dang. Tony's getting pretty good at making these. These are what I would like to call just good intros. Let's get this the meat and potato though. There you go, ring that steel. You can hear he's shooting steel. I think that was the size of the bar Demo Ranch was trying to trade. Alright. They are hammering the metals. Dude. I'm gonna touch upon it. I'm gonna just touch upon it. It's near the end here. The latest report from the CME Group shows that just 135 million ounces of registered silver are still available. That's down 16 million from the 151 million ounces reported 2 weeks ago, which means people are saying, I want my silver. Watching the registered inventory is a good way to judge whether the effort to squeeze silver prices is working. If demand for the physical metals keep accelerating and they continue to fall, bullion dealer inventories are low, and demand for retail bullion products have never been higher, even the 1,000-ounce bar premiums are elevated, which is an extreme rare occurrence. Rising lease rates in London, so it's going on in London too. What is it? It looks like 80 to 100 million ounces of the physical silver will be delivered in March. So yeah, they're looking at this 80 to 100 million, right? But it was like a certain amount taken. Anyway, a lot of people are taking their silver out, and they're actually saying that they might start just saying, nope, we can't give you the actual silver. So here's the cash value of that. Now, if the silver spot price of the paper silver, that's the spot price you see. If that price is still low, then they're just going to give you that cash. And like, yeah, here you go. Meanwhile, right now, silver spot, I think it's like $26, right? If I take an ounce of silver down to my local coin dealer, I'm not going to get $26 for that ounce. Nope, I'm not selling that probably for anything less than $29, almost $30. That's the real price of silver. But if they run out of silver and they can't deliver it to you, or they don't want to deliver it to you, they're going to give you the actual spot price in cash. Great. But here's the problem. What if I want to cash in on my paper silver, get the physical stuff, and take it over to my coin dealer? Because that would be the best way to do it. If I'm going to get out of silver, right? If I want money, if I want actual cash, then give me the silver so I can then go up, sell it to the next guy. But they don't want to do that. It doesn't work out for them very well. It was stamped 1026. What was stamped 1026? You're talking? Oh, no. He did a 100-ounce bar. He also did like a gold bar, which was crazy. But I mean, when you're that big, I guess you get to do those kind of things. See, we would be going back to silver certificates. Not sure I would want that. If silver, here's the thing, silver is an indication on what's going on with the economy. I don't think we can go back to silver certificates, Daniel. There's just no way you can go back to silver certificates right now because we've printed so much money. We don't have all this money in the US. I mean, we don't have anything of value. It used to be that our money was backed by silver and gold. It's no longer backed by that. Why? Because they couldn't just make more when they wanted to so that they could buy more stuff. The whole idea was that they wanted to just print the money instead of having to have it backed up. See, constitutionally, and this is why we call it constitutional silver, it was supposed to be, our money, our dollar, was supposed to be backed by ounces of gold and silver, meaning that there wasn't any inflation either, right? You would set, okay, silver is going to be this many dollars, right? Gold is going to be this many dollars, right? So, where is it? I have an 1880 gold $20 piece. $20 for an ounce. It was basically an ounce of gold. an ounce of gold was a $20 piece. $20, right? That was a lot of money back then. But the thing is, if a ounce of gold was considered $20 today, let's just say that they had to get off of that standard because they wanted to print more money. And so they got us off that standard. Now, what's going on is in the stock market, you see silver prices, right? Silver prices aren't great. I mean, they're not horrible. They're definitely better than they were this time last year. But right now, silver is at $26.14. You can't buy an ounce of silver for under $30. You can't. If you were paying it at spot price, or if you were selling it at spot price, you're getting screwed. Spot price is the paper spot price. The paper is the stock market, right? When you look at the stock market, people are buying and selling silver certificate. They're buying paper. They're not buying the actual physical silver. They're buying paper that says it basically is a silver certificate. It's here's a promissory note. You bought this promissory note that we will honor, and you will have your silver, but you don't have to keep it in your house because, I mean, if you've got thousands and thousands and thousands of ounces of silver, that fills up a lot of space, right? So these people, they don't want to do that because they don't have the space. So I'll just buy it, and it's like on my Robinhood app. I have lots of silver. I just don't have it on me, right? Well, the problem is now that all these people that did the GameStop thing, they're moving over to silver, and they're not buying the paper silver. They're buying the physical silver, as far as I know. They might be buying the paper stuff too, but they're buying the physical stuff, and that is making people that have the paper stuff say, wait a minute, silver right now, $26 an ounce on my phone, but I know I can go over to my coin dealer and get $30 an ounce for it. And I only paid like $15 an ounce for it back in the day. Maybe now is a great time to cash it out. I'll go ahead and get all that silver and physical bullion, and then I'll just truck that over to my coin dealer and get cash for it. Well, the problem is they've been printing out more paper than they have silver. It's the same thing the government did, right? And then we had to get off the silver standard. And now that's what's going on. And when that hits, that's the U.S. economy. That's the U.S. economy. And Daniel, I don't know exactly why I never met your father. A lot of people like your father, and maybe your father, got into stacking silver for this very event. The dollar crashing. The dollar will crash. It will. Absolutely, 100%, the dollar is going to crash at some point. When exactly? I don't know. I'm not a financial advisor, right? But it will eventually collapse. You cannot be printing out trillions, $1.9 trillion. Where'd that money come from? It comes from promissory notes that our children's children are going to have to someday pay back. But guess what? They're not even going to have to pay it back either, because their children's children are going to have to pay that shit back, because this ship is not turning around. You cannot say, yeah, you can just write a check for that, and then just say they're not going to go back to balancing a budget. Right? That ship has sailed. You gave somebody with a horrible spending habits a credit card. Somebody that shouldn't have had a credit card. I know, because I was one of these people a long time ago that got a credit card. I was like, I can't believe they approved me for a credit card, those suckers. And I went out and I maxed that shit. And then eventually I declared bankruptcy, knowing full well I was going to do that probably at some point in my life. And guess what? I got free shit. That's exactly what's going on now. He may have. It all depends. Your dad, I don't know what he has, right? But you kind of, I would imagine, have a good idea. Is it stuff that are in things like this? This is a a grading thing, so this coin has numismatic value, right? This is just quarters, but it's also in a case. So is your dad's stuff in a case like this? Or is it just like in tubes like this? Or it could be loose. I mean, it could be loose. But like this right here, these are just standing Liberty quarters, right? They're slicked out. They're just in a tube because it doesn't really matter, right? These are what I'd like to call, this is what you stack when you want to prepare for the crash of the dollar. This is what you want to stack if you're into flipping it for a profit, or if you just really like coin collecting just because it's a pretty coin and that's what I collect. People collect stamps, people collect all sorts of things. I do a little bit of both, right? I got this at a great deal. That's why I have this. This was actually at spot. Here's the thing. When you get stuff graded, this is graded a PS, or this is graded a 69. Yeah, PF 69. The best is a 70, so it's one off of a 70. It's ultra cameo. It's the whole proof coin with the frosting and all that. It's really nice, right? And it cost them like, I don't know, $40 to get this slab like this, and they got to mail it off and bring it back, right? And I got this at spot. See, people people put a lot of money and effort into this stuff, and it doesn't always pan out. So it's either you're in it for the money or you're in it for the collectability. Now, I might be able to sell this eventually and do that. Both. The dimes are in a loose binder. Okay. So if he's got the stuff in the binders, right? The stuff in the binders, and I got stuff like that. I mean, I probably don't have the same binder, right? I have one of these, right? I'm sure he's probably got at least one of these or something, right? But this just holds some of my silver dimes, right? These things I wouldn't sell. Like if he's got mostly them in tubes, that stuff, you can go ahead and sell that. You can sell that, no problem. Sell it for whatever Bob wants to give you for it. Bob's going to give you a fair price on that if you go with Bob, right? The stuff in the cases, you don't want to take those to Bob. Those need to go on eBay, or they need to go somewhere else. Auction, possibly. I don't know. I'm probably not the best one to educate you on that. But the ones in the clear plastic tubes or just loose, go ahead and, when you're ready, go ahead and do that. But yeah. Okay. Both. The dimes are in the loose binder. I got some graded items. Tactical Tone gone all incognito. Yeah, he has. He's got some good openings for his channel. Or some videos. I guess it's not openings for his channel, but I look at those as like, it's a minute. It's like less than a minute. It's totally an opening for your channel. But yeah, I don't know. That's up to you, Daniel, on what you want to do. I don't know if you have to sell them or whatever, but if they're yours and you have the choice, obviously I think you should keep them because I collect silver, right? If you want to get rid of them because you got other things you got to deal with the money and all that, I get that too. I'm sure you're all over it, but the first ones that I would start with, and I'm not a financial advisor, but I will give you this one piece of advice. The first stuff to start with is anything that's in a tube or not exclusively in a book or a binder. The dimes that he has in a binder are probably really nice dimes. The best dimes that I have that are silver are in that book that I just brought up. Will you get much more than spot price for them? Maybe, maybe not. If they're Mercury dimes, which are older, there are some key dates with those. And Bob will tell you what dates are key dates. I mean, you might be able to get some help on that. The other ones, probably not worth a ton, but yeah, you'd want to sell them individually. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Thank you very much for joining us. Make sure to check out the descriptions down below if this is your first time. We got a lot of great causes and things that I believe in, including Irish USMC vet who is trying to start up a location in Tennessee where veterans can come and live room and board free while learning a new skill like farming, blacksmithing, and gunsmithing. Other than that, there's all the places that you can follow me. If you want to throw money at my face, there's ways to do that down there as well. But if you want to help out my channel without spending a dime, all you have to do is share the video. That helps out quite a bit. Would love to get more people involved in the chat. Not that I don't love you guys, but I mean, yeah, obviously we'd love to have more people find us if that was possible. Anyway, let's see what else. Anything else? I think that's it. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and add another 50 lemons. Somebody must have won my lemons because I don't have the 50 in there from before. So I don't know. All right, let's do the 50. And then we will distribute the rewards. Somehow that worked. Did you get those? Did you get the last 50 Irish? Or what happened there? Because I didn't get... Oh, no. I do have lemon balance. Maybe that's where it's coming from. All right, good luck to anybody that's in on the D-Live side. Thank you, Richard Monder. Appreciate you being here. And I will see you tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 Eastern. Until then, make sure to keep your family close. Watch out for that government and try to live as free as you can in the tyrannical world we find ourselves living in today. I will see you then. Peace.
Oh,